he says, every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself even as he is pure. Notice the last part, even as he is pure. Verse 2 said that when he appears, we shall be like him, for we shall see him even as he is. And here we see what even as he is. Even as he is pure. That's what he is. And the perfect vision of him that we will see when he comes is his purity, and that'll make us pure. We said that we're only like him in part now because we only see him in part. We only see him through a glass darkly, but when we see him as he is, when we know him face to face, then we'll be as pure as he is. Now get this, the more clearly we see Christ in this life, the more clearly we reflect him, and the more nearly we are like him. It's only our imperfect vision that keeps us from being perfectly like him. But someday, 2 Corinthians 3:18 says that as we with open or unveiled face behold the glory of the Lord, we are changed into the same image of the Lord. And Jesus, as we look to him, he delivers us from our besetting sins. The more intently Moses gazed into the pillar of fire and cloud, the more his face shone as he walked among men. So how do we get past this veil that clouds our vision? How do we see him more clearly and experience this transformation into his likeness? Well, it's not really a big secret. Jesus said in John 14:21, he that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And then down at the end of the verse he says, I will manifest myself unto him. Those who love and obey him, Jesus says he reveals himself to them. So the more that you love him and the more that you obey him, the more he reveals himself to you. And the more he reveals himself to you, the more like him you become, and the more that you love him and the more that you obey him. From one level of glory to another, 2 Corinthians 3:18 says, we're changed. Because every time you get a clearer vision of him, your sight adjusts to the new level of light that you've been given, allowing you to take another step closer and another step closer. Proverbs 4:18 says, the path of the just is as the shining light which shineth more and more unto the perfect day. The day when you see him perfectly and you are perfect. And that's what verse 3 is describing. John says, every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, actually becomes more as he is, even as he is pure.